Guys, I'm still standing up here. It's kind of sprinkling a little bit, and I wanted to do a video on, I don't know if I should title this video Buyer's Remorse or what happened in Florida, or I don't know what the title of this video will be, but I wanted to do a couple different topics today, and I wanted to talk about in this video how many damn homes I'm seeing in Florida that are going up for foreclosure, that are going up for sale at a loss or going into a short sale scenario. And I want to break it down for you. Because I've actually been looking at this. I've been trying to secure a property. I got a couple investments that are in the pipeline that are cryptocurrency related. Some portfolios that I've been building out for several years that are doing phenomenally well, and I expect to even do better. And I've been thinking about maybe buying a place in Florida, little sticks and bricks. And I'm just appalled by how many homes that I see in Florida that are being sold at a loss or being sold at a significant discount from just a few years ago. And I think I know why, and I think I'm going to try to explain why, and you guys can back me up on this, because I do follow a couple YouTubers that are in the real estate business, Ben Greico, Michael Bordenero, and a few others that are in that local market that kind of highlight some of these things time to time. And I do actually do my own research as well. I don't just, expect these people to just tell me exactly 100% of what is going on. I actually do my own research. And I have seen quite a bit of homes in Florida, and it's not just a small amount. It's literally like every other home that I click on that is for sale has either had a massive price drop or several price drops, or on Zillow, you can go down to the very end where it says public info, and it shows what the house sold for and when it sold for, and you can look how many times it's had price drops and things. If you haven't ever seen it, it's at the bottom of the Zillow screen of whatever home you're looking at. And Florida, it was one of those states that were during COVID, everybody wanted to move there because of the relaxed laws, right? We all know this. That was one of the places people were flocking to because they didn't want to be inside. They didn't want to have the mask on, and I was out here in California at the time, and I just remember it being a big thing. A lot of people were moving to Florida. So I understand that that was one of the reasons that drove up home values. But it seems that from what I'm seeing with the boots on the ground real estate business here, that Florida is kind of going through a correction period. It's going through a more substantial period of instability because a lot of the homes are being sold at a loss, and like it's a pretty big loss. Like some of these homes are selling at a 20-30% discount from what they sold at the top of the market, which you guys know the market kind of peaked into 2022, and there was kind of a little bit of a lag effect because at the end, like in the middle of 2022, we started getting the increased mortgage rates. That's when mortgage rates started to kind of start going up rather than the lower interest rates that drove all these buyers to unlock equity, sell their home, move to places. There was the whole remote work thing that was going around. You remember everybody was working remotely, and we all thought we were going to be driving Teslas and working on our computers, but that really didn't turn out to be the case. And now we're seeing Florida being kind of this boom bust effect, right? So what am I talking about? So we're talking also about why Florida probably experienced that. Those are some of the reasons, but then also kind of where Florida real estate is going, because you got to remember a lot of areas in Florida are not, it's just like every other state. There's not really an economy too much past the tourist industry, right? I mean, you have cities like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, Fort Myers, Tampa. You have these bigger cities, Orlando, that do cater to different sectors, right? Some are in finance, some are in, I think tech. I think Miami is big with tech now. So there's different sectors that, once you get into the bigger cities are present, right? And these are some of the cities that are kind of a little bit more cushioned from these price drops. Like I don't see as many of these type of scenarios like I'm talking about with these short sales or foreclosures in like the Miami area. There are some, there definitely are some, and there are definitely homes that are overpriced, and there are definitely people that are selling at a loss. But the frequency that I'm seeing it is more kind of in the retirement communities. A lot of them I've seen down in Port Charlotte, kind of on the exterior of like Cape Coral, You know, some of the Tampa area, once you start getting inland, which I would assume was because they were building these massive neighborhoods that people were, you know, running towards during the COVID pandemic. And now they're kind of, there's not really a demand for them now, right? Other areas like Orlando, once you get outside of like Orlando, like Lakeland, Ocala, Jacksonville, like once you get away from these cities is kind of where you start seeing these homes kind of drop off. And like I said, they're big price drops. They're literally 20, 30% price drops. And I think that being the case, I think if there's no demand for these homes, I think we'll continue to see price drops. And I think we'll continue to see a scenario play out where Florida becomes very affordable. Because that's the only way that there's going to be a demand. If there's no affordability, and if the affordability already got taken by the people that could afford it and would afford it and did afford it and now can't, I think it's very, very obvious that the scenario is in a scenario where the prices have to come down to create the affordability. We either have to have that or we have to have a massive cut in interest rates. And the 10-year treasury yield is going to have to come way down to drive that 30-year fixed mortgage back down to where people are going to, you know, go into a buyer frenzy and push those prices up. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I really don't. You know, the new Fed chairman has been kind of talking about maybe a rate hike. So if that happens, typically we're not going to see an increase in home values. We're going to see a decrease. It's just basically how it works. And then also with the supply and demand factor, a lot of people moved down to Florida thinking it would be great. You know, for whatever reason, they got down there and now they're leaving, right? It's one of the most exited states in the United States. I think it's actually #1. And it's one of the highest for foreclosures as well. So I think you have a combination of things. Plus, you have obviously the carrying costs for some of these properties, right? You have the higher insurance and all the obvious things like insurance premiums have skyrocketed. You had that Hurricane Irma a couple years ago, followed by another hurricane, or you know, you have all these issues that have like created affordability that people just simply cannot afford, right? They're maxed out, or it's just gotten too expensive for what they thought they could do, right? A lot of times people do this because a lot of people, guys, they buy homes with mortgages. I've seen this in my own personal real estate business. Most people buy homes with mortgages, right? It's not everybody, but most people do. You know, most people buy homes with mortgages. And you know, during COVID, I would say there were a lot more cash buyers out here on the California side. I would assume the same in Florida took place because people were unlocking equity and people were, you know, money was very cheap to borrow. So you had these scenarios where a lot of cash purchases happened. Typically, guys, most people buy a home with a mortgage. I wouldn't personally buy a home with a mortgage. I don't think that's the route I'm going to go personally, but I don't own a home currently. But my point is in a scenario where you have everybody flocking to a certain place, it doesn't strike me very ironically that everybody is now leaving, right? It's called a boom and bust state. It happened in Vegas. It happened in Florida last, you know, housing crash. And I think it's probably starting to happen again because I'm starting to see also out here with my boots on the ground, a real estate business out here, prospecting and talking to for sale by owners and things like that on the inland side of like into Temecula, into Murrieta, into Riverside County, San Diego County, Lake Elsinore, Hemet, Moreno Valley, some of these cities that are inland a little bit, right? I'm starting to see the same phenomenon kind of happen out here as it did in Florida, where I saw a couple years ago, where I saw these people kind of start to sell their homes at a loss. And that's happening a lot out, like I said, in Temecula and Murrieta, especially I've seen it because you had a lot of new neighborhoods pop up that now simply have no demand. And if this is the case, that's going to continue and there's not going to be a demand. The only way you fill that demand is one simple fix. You got to lower the prices. And that means somebody's got to lose. That means the person that bought the house at X amount now has to sell it for X minus the amount somebody else will buy it for. So that's kind of where we're at with the market out here. But I did want to highlight, you know, the Florida real estate market because I really start to see it pick up hardcore. And I've noticed it for the last really 2-3 years, but I've seen it really, really pick up here. And I thought it's picked up enough where I'd make a video about it. So if you guys are, you know, watching some of this stuff on the ground, if you guys live in Florida, I know we have some subscribers from Florida. Let me know what's happening in your local market, or let me know like if you're seeing this or you have friends that are going through these issues. And it's really ironic too, because the homes that I'm seeing sell or for sale, a lot of them were just built in 2021 or 2022, meaning the person that bought the home. That's the only person that's bought it, and they're selling so quickly after, right? Really, like, people don't really sell homes that quick. I mean, there's always these scenarios, you know, divorces, business transfers, and things where you have to sell. But for the most part, typically people don't really sell that quick, right? 2, 3 years, 4 years. They usually hold on to them a little bit longer than that. So there's that aspect of it as well. So that kind of what confirms that the housing market down there might be starting to show signs of correcting, right? It is correcting for sure, but like maybe even crashing. All right. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys in Florida are, you know, going to give me some more information on this. I love to hear it, and talk to you soon. Take care.